okay with you, I'd like to start right at the beginning. It's a day like today, actually, when Jeff came to see me the first time. And to look at him, casually dressed, you could tell, though, that he had money, had success in his life. In fact, you could imagine him suited up, meeting of directors, quite easily. But as he sat there in front of me, his hands were actually trembling as he started to share his story with me. And he told me how his life was just unbearable at the moment. Every single time the phone rang, and he was a busy man, his phone rang often, he was just racked with fear and anxiety. And he had this gut-wrenching fear that something had happened to one of his 3 children. So of course it was ruining everything, including his marriage, because his wife couldn't understand his irrational behaviour. Get over it, Jeff. That didn't help. And he had tears come to his eyes as he was telling about how disconnected he was feeling, how his children were pushing him away. And just things just weren't going right, and he really didn't know what to do. And as I sat there watching this man, I had a voice. And I know people in the audience can relate to hearing voices. A voice, a thought, whatever you want to call it. But it was insistent. It was started screaming at me, and I was trying to brush it away because it didn't make sense to me. But it kept coming. And it was when I took action and followed through and allowed that voice to come out, Jeff's whole life changed. Got his kids back, got his family back. And since then, I've used that with so many people. And that's what I'll be sharing with you today. But I'll come back to Jeff. What I should really do to start off with is to introduce myself a little bit more. So some of you already know that I'm Sue Lester, Head Transition Coach at Grow Content. And it's my job, my joy, and my delight to help smooth your path to where you want to go by clearing your head trash out of the way. Getting rid of all that block, turning your self-sabotage into self-motivation. I help people let go of all that stuff so they can grow. And in doing so, gain the absolute clarity about where they are, where they want to go, where they've been, and what's wrong with that. The authentic confidence to actually step up and take steps to move forward. And then, of course, you need that motivation. And not just the kickstart motivation, you need that sustainable, self-perpetuating motivation. The one that taps into your values, especially your power values. That's the dark side that I've talked about before, and we've all got it. To keep going, to make change, and create that life that you all deserve, whether that bitch on your shoulder tells you that or not. And part of my reason for why is the legacy. Because I know that for every one of you I work with, it's not just you. There's impact on your children and your children's children, because obviously if you're parenting better, your children will, and then they will. And it just goes on and on. The impact on your spouse, on your friends, your family, your neighbours. The impact on that guy on the motorway that you didn't give the finger to when he cut you off. It's that ripple-on effect. And that's what keeps me going. But some of you, so you probably know all that, because you've heard me speak before, we've met before in networking events. What you might not know is I've actually got 2 passions. Well, 4 actually, if you count chocolate in my party. 2 big passions. Now one of it is travelling to adventurous travel. And I've just come back from 5 weeks high altitude trekking in the dark, which is in northern India, which is just amazing. Terrifying roads, but amazing experience. I've canoed along the Zambezi River in Africa, dodging pods of hippos. I've clawed up the pitch blackness inside the pyramids of Giza. Trekked to Republic of Congo to see the gorillas face to face. So there's a photograph there of the one I took with my little idiot camera. And I walked across the Simpson Desert with 16 camels, sleeping in swag under the stars. Now, I know some of you only camp if you've got 5 stars above the But, you know, my passion is getting down and dirty, adventurous, and experiencing new people, new cultures. And I'm sure you relate to the fact that as long as you're living your passion, then you're on track. Now that first passion actually led into my second passion, because no matter where I went in the world, I saw evidence of people making amazing changes despite the odds. I'm sure you would have seen that in Thailand, people who have travelled in Africa, and yet there are so many more who seem to have all these advantages, yet they don't step up, seemingly self-sabotaging. So I've been absolutely fascinated by that for years. And my chosen careers were in education and social enterprise. For example, in social enterprise, I ran Queensland youth mentoring programs for a national organisation. So it was my job to recruit, screen, train and support 190 volunteer mentors a year, plus design and run the training programs for our staff so they could support the students who were then matched with my mentors. So all of that was going on, but it wasn't enough because I wanted to get, once I discovered the tools that I use, I wanted to use them all the time. So I thought, I'll launch my business. So that's what I did, because of course, when you launch your own business, you can concentrate on doing what you love, and you don't have to worry about bookwork, do you? You hire people to look after it for you, of course. So in 2007, I launched Growing Content. And now I have coaching clients across Australia, New Zealand, Asia. And when I'm not working with those coaching clients, I'm standing up speaking like this. I'm running webinars and workshops and writing articles. I'm a professional support advisor for Family Papers. Oh, and that book, the book that I'm writing, which keeps changing and morphing because there's so much, but I've given myself a deadline for the end of this year, which is a significant number birthday for myself. So The Face Within, Changing Your Internal Blueprint, will definitely be happening by then.
What date?
13th of December is my birthday. And yes, hold me accountable, please.
On or before?
I might be busy having champagne lunches on, so
So
day before, and then I can really celebrate.
We'll hold
Yeah, absolutely, and that's great. That's accountability, and I need that. I mean, I've got my own coach as well, but that extra up the backside is always much appreciated. So that actually brings me back to Jeff, almost back to Jeff. Before I get back to him, I'd like you to participate in an exercise, if that's all right with you, because by doing that, it'll make his story even more relevant to you.